It turns out, even heaven can be subject to the subjective. What I mean is that heaven is not heaven for everyone. For some, it is a lonely room spent waiting for eternity, for another soul to arrive. Prison of heavenly design, cold with loneliness. To others, it is a city of company and a warmness that makes them forget that the latter group even exists. Subjective. For instance, there is no short supply of car crash victims, and therefore, their heaven is a paradise, a city brimming with the like-minded, or rather, the like-dead. They fully expand yearly. Heaven accommodating an influx of victims each day. Meanwhile, a scattered handful of crew members of a long-ruined Challenger and the Columbia disaster sit in a barren room with only each other to keep them company. Their deaths categorized as spaceship crash. Apparently, in short supply and only warranting a space in heaven the size of a small living quarter. Ironic, but still, still, there lies a room more rare, so rare, so rare, that only one man sits in it, alone, praying for another to join him. He spends his days in a corridor-sized space, simply waiting, sitting and waiting, thinking and waiting, hoping, and in secret wondering if what lies below could be any worse than the heaven he was confined to. Ask him of his opinion of heaven, and he will tell you he was still waiting to see it. He has no name, or at least there is no true record of who he is. But a title above his space in heaven is set in stone. Cause of death, struck down by the heavens. When he first appeared there, turning his space of one into a space of two, the room appeared to grow, shift from the size of one corridor into two. Then a chair popped into existence, followed by another and another, lining the blank walls. The man looked up to me behind tired eyes, face clear and clean, but his eyes were the eyes of a man broken. Finally, someone else. It has been ages. He stumbled up from the floor, but fell again, down at my feet. Whoa, whoa, well, it's just the two of us now, but I cried. I tried to reply, though the memory was fading. Two is plenty. He smiled. He smiled a toothy smile. Oh, you don't believe the rarity we find ourselves in. Upon realizing the pathetic state in which he was in, he stood, then outstretched a hand. I am unknown. When you get to heaven, you keep your name, but only if your death is properly recorded. Mine, mine is listed as just unknown. I took his hand and shook. I am, I can't exactly remember my name either. I tried. I tried to think back. Maybe it's too soon to record my death. He nodded, quickly, in a half-heard agreement. I took it all in for a moment, letting his jumbled rumbling float to the back of my mind. I had died. But how many others? And Where have they gone? Was it really just us now? In this stuffy room? Forever? I suppose I could be worse. I could have been him. His voice came back into focus. So, you too, huh? They say we were struck down by the heavens. Us, too. I don't know if a space rock is God's doing, but... Space rock? I tried to remember me being struck by a rock, but I could not. Before I could finish, something lurched. It shifted, twisted, and tilted, bumped and grew rapidly. Rapidly, the rooms filled with chairs, chairs turning to new rooms, and new rooms to homes on an all-new street. I was sent flying forward as hundreds, no, thousands of bodies came raining into our once so small space. Unknown hit the ground. Both of us suddenly in the street, surrounded by a sea of spontaneous civilization and the sounds of confused mutterings from the new inhabitants. His eyes grew wide. My dear boy, what did you do? Well, it seems meteors come in all sizes, I replied.